live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. This is Marcus Jones of Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo with Cowboys, y'all, out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
All right, we're coming in at a special time because we have a very special guest joining us today. She is the co-host of Girls Talking Boys podcast. Give it up for Miss Kelsey Charles.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Come to be here.
Yeah.
Yes! The effects and everything. Dang. Like, can y'all just help me with my stuff? Because, my goodness, like...
Whatever you need, we got you, Kelsey.
Sure. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just hanging out here on I don't even know what day it is. I'll be totally honest with you. Like, what are days anymore in 2020? Because it just feels like they all go together. But I'm good. I'm good. You know, I can't complain. Staying healthy, staying safe, and so getting to talk Cowboys with you guys tonight. What more could I go ask for?
All right. Before we start, thank you, Mendoza and Khan, for joining us. Everyone, when you get in, make sure that you share this to your personal page.
Elazar, what's up?
Favorite group. And we're going to talk some Cowboys topics and some NFL topics. So you guys stay tuned and stay with us.
And it's and as Marcus said, you're the co-host of Girls Talking Boys, and a lot of people have been, following along with the show y'all got going on. How did you and Meg kind of end up pairing together to get that thing started? Like, how'd that come about?
Yeah. So, as some people may know, may not know, I used to work for the Cowboys myself, and I actually did some radio and TV shows with them there. And my 9-to-5 job is in sports marketing, so I ended up getting a job elsewhere, and I still, love the team and very tied in to what's going on there. And I got a call from SB Nation and RJ, if you guys know RJ Ochoa, and he's like, hey, you want to come on the show? And then I came on his podcast, and he's like, that was actually fun. Like, in long story short, we ended up deciding that it would make sense for me to talk Cowboys again. And Meg's one of my best friends, and we kind of have this trio. Again, if you follow us on social media, you'll see that it's Dave, Meg, and I, and it's very much recreating what we have in real life. We all are neighbors, and we hang out together. And so I just said, why don't we just record our conversations? Like, we already talk about this as it is. Like,
right.
what gives, So out of that, Girls Talking Boys was born.
Okay, great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had RJ on. When was it, Marcus?
Probably about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's awesome.
And we're working on having David come in next week, so this will be great.
Let's go! I love it. Actually, I'm sure I was going to say, forgive me, he might walk in. Like, literally, I walked into his part. We all have each other's keys too. Like, I just barged into his apartment last night, and he's like on his room with someone, and I'm like, what's up?
That's awesome.
So we may get him a week early, is what you're saying.
You might.
All right. Well, before we get started with Cowboys news, I got to talk about the EAR DFW organization.
Yeah.
And I've seen you pushing that really hard, and congrats to you for that, because that is a great thing you're doing. Can you let the people kind of know what that is and how it got started?
Yeah, so EAR-DFW is an acronym for Education Action Reform. And, a couple months ago, back in January, again, David Hellman's one of my best friends, and LSU was going to the national championship game, and he didn't have a ticket yet, and I was going to go work the game. And so we were a couple of us were sitting around having a drink one night, and we made a joke. We're like, we're going to start a GoFundMe. Like, why not? And Cowboys Twitter showed up, and I think we generated like $1,500 of donations within a couple hour period. It was wild, which was enough to get him a ticket to the game. And it was the whole get Dave to the Dome. And of course, we didn't end up using that money for him getting a ticket. We donated to charity. And I kind of thought, hey, if we can do something like that around something that's just fun and, you know, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, like imagine what we could do with our combined platforms of all of our friends, all the people and athletes that we know, influencers we know, media people that we know, again, with an issue that matters. And I think we're seeing a lot of things in our country right now. And I want to acknowledge the fact that racial and social injustice is not new. It's not new, but it's been encouraging to see the solidarity behind the movement. And this campaign is holding individuals accountable to more than just posting a black square on your Instagram. We've went and done a lot of work in our community to figure out and identify what organizations are truly making an impact and are doing the work. And so our goal is to empower those groups to do the great work that they do to help further the missions and further the causes for which they stand for. And again, the 4 organizations are Big Thought, Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce, which is the oldest Black Chamber of Commerce in America. You've got the DEC, which is the Dallas Entrepreneurship Center. I always forget the E part. They have a Revive Dallas Small Business Fund, which benefits minority and female-owned organizations and businesses and pairs them with mentors, so it's not just like throwing money at things. And then also we've got Texas Organizing Project, which really is their main goal is to make sure that minority communities are represented at the polls and people are educated on the matters. And so again, fabulous organizations that are just doing great work. And so you hear this narrative all the time of stick to sports, stick to sports, stick to sports. I don't subscribe to that. I just don't. Before anything else, you're a human. Before you're an athlete, before you're a personality, before anything else. And if you have any semblance of a platform, I actually view it as your responsibility to be able to spread awareness and spread messages and do good with what you were given. And that's what the EAR campaign is. So we're not going to stick to sports. They told us to stick to sports. We didn't listen. And here's where we're lending our ear. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm just so encouraged and so proud of this community that is Cowboys fans and what they've been able to generate. I'll actually share with you guys first before it hits the Twitter, but we actually have raised almost $20,000. We just got a pretty significant donation in today. So that's $20,000 in a week, you guys. And I'm just
a week.
Yeah, I thought it was 10,000 like 3 days ago, right?
I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had some organizations that got wind of it and they wanted to get involved. And so I'm just really, really proud of everyone who has supported this campaign, everyone's involved, and it matters. It matters. You know, I love talking about sports, but you know, there's other things in life that are bigger than sports, and that's just where I stand.
Exactly. And you're getting a lot of support too. I noticed Jeff Kavanaugh was giving away 18 rounds that people support, and a couple of radio personalities were saying you can come on the show if you give, and David Hellman is doing it. And I think I saw something with Jane Slater and Brian Broaddus said they'll go live from a van together or something. Right.
I think that's separate, but Jane Slater and Brian Broaddus are both involved in their supporting the campaign. But Brian he did mention that he would join some of the Zooms with Dave. So if you guys want to talk draft or scouting, that is totally on the table. Again, like I'm just here to kind of bring the groups together. My friends are really cool and they're way cooler than me. And so it's cool to see what they're offering. And you can go on Bin and Skin. Travis Frederick, if you want to play, you know, some games with him, like he's offered up that opportunity with Bin and Skin. I think Shippy is going to get involved and offer some fun things coming up later too. So a lot of cool stuff brewing. And again, like giving to the cause is so important. I think it's great. If you can't do that, spreading the awareness around it is really great as well. But you can also get some fun stuff in return. So it feels like, why not? You know? Right.
And if anyone wants to contribute, we'll have it scrolling at the bottom of the screen so you guys can see the website to go to. It's a great cause. It's a lot of great people supporting it. and we hope you guys support as well. The Cowboy Zone has already made a contribution, and we hope you guys follow suit.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's eardfw.com. You can always tweet me on Twitter if you have questions or anything else. We'll have it going for a little bit longer, but I really want to blow this goal out of the water. I mean, shoot, I want to get to 25. Let's get to 25. Why can't we get to 25? Let's go. That's the next goal. So let's get to 25,000, y'all. Let's do it.
Definitely. I think it'll definitely get there quick. I mean, if it got to 20 pretty fast, I think 25 is going to get there.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
All right. Before we started, there was a little bit of news from the Redskins. We don't have to go into it a lot, but there's been scandals in the nation's capital.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
So I don't know if you guys follow. Kelsey kind of told us a little bit. She got a update.
Yeah.
Some sexual assault things going on. Kelsey, I know you can talk a little bit more about it, and we won't go much into it.
Well, basically, the Washington Post, we've been kind of hearing rumblings about this, some news that's going to be coming down in Washington for a couple of days. And I haven't even gotten a chance to read the full article yet, but the Washington Post published an article literally about 5 o'clock just now. And in essence, 15 women, former employees, or I guess more than a dozen women, have alleged sexual harassment and verbal abuse by the former team employees at Redskins Park. So after the findings, there are several team employees that actually resigned, including the club's longtime radio voice and the team director of pro personnel. So it's not great. It's not great. And
I'm so glad it's not us this time.
Yeah.
So
take the pressure away from the Cowboys for once. Let's have a quiet off season. Well, minus our Dak issue, but
and we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah.
Is it ever quiet for Cowboys? First of all,
no, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I think that as a woman who works in sports, and who has worked for a team who has worked in the industry for a while now. I spent my entire career, and I still am in sports. I think this is common. I hate to say that, but the locker room culture is something that is not new to me, and it's 2020, and I think that it's time that we stop accepting that as okay. And again, I haven't read the details about what's going on. I'm not referencing anything that's specifically happened at the Cowboys. I just think, in general, I think a lot of times it's the locker room culture. Well, nah, man. We can't. That's just not. It's not okay. We can't keep saying that anymore. It doesn't slide. Doesn't fly. So we're done with that.
Exactly.
I definitely understand. I've been in locker rooms many years. Growing up playing football, and it's definitely something that's. Seems like it's been around in a lot of locker rooms, throughout time. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely worth looking into. I think that you saw earlier, Adam Schefter made a report that some of the minority owners in the team were looking at selling their shares. So I think that it's just the tip of the iceberg, at least in terms of the trickle-down effect and what's going to happen. I don't think a lot of people want to be a part of what they've got going on out there right now. Right. This on top of the controversial name. This is not the first time that the name has been brought up into the topics of should we be still using this type of naming in this century? Let's consider where it came from, what it actually means, and what it means to people who it actually is directly pertaining to. So,
Do you have a or what would you guess is going to be the new name if you had to take a guess at it or take a stab at it?
What was the one that was the fighter pilots one? I really, really liked
Red Tails, the Red Tails with the little red and yellow plane, the Red Tails. Yeah, I seen that one.
Cool. And I just think that it's a cool nod. It was like a all black squadron. I think it was in World War II.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. I think that'd be awesome if they did that. I think you'd have to do it right. and you have to make sure you're really well aware of like all the facts around it, because again, like I also am not a fan of people coming in and just because of the times, taking a
advantage of it, basically.
Kind of, yeah. Like we don't need to be profiting off of like a piece of culture just because it's trendy. Quote, you know, if you're going to do it right. So that would be my personal thought, my personal preference. I think it's cool. I think it's the right time to be doing things like that. But again, doing it the right way would be key.
Yeah. I would like to start a campaign for the Washington Sentinels.
Really?
Are you familiar with the movie The Replacements?
The Replacements, yeah. That's funny.
If you follow me on Twitter, you should know that I don't know anything about movies.
Shane Falco,
Keanu Reeves.
Have you seen Bobby like ream me publicly multiple times? Bobby Belt is like, you haven't seen E.T.? I'm like, nah, man. Like,
what?
You could name your top 5, your top 2 movies right now, and I probably haven't seen them. Like Titanic, nope. Gladiator, nope. Forrest Gump, own it, never seen it. Like E.T.,
no way.
Nope. Waterboy, nope. It's really bad. Oh. It's not great. I'm not proud of it, but like it's a fact.
Meg seems to pick up the slack with all the references, though, the pop culture references. So
Meg is the content queen. We balance each other out very well in that regard. Like she knows everything. I'll text her like, "Hey, did you see this?" She's like, "Yeah, I saw that like 2 weeks ago." And I'm like, "Cool."
All right, so now let's get into some Cowboys talk.
Let's do it.
And I guess we'll start with let's talk about a couple of weeks ago. You guys did this episode about the NFC East Super Team.
Yes.
And I just want to pull that up really quick so you guys can see.
Okay. I have my notes.
I mean, we're not going to go into it too much. Lambo and I both heard the episode, and we just had a couple of questions about a few of these guys just to get some info on what you guys were thinking.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys can see this was their NFC East Super Team. Basically, they chose the best players from all 4 teams and kind of put a super squad together. Now, for me, I'll go first, Lambo. The one I was wondering about, how do you not have Zeke as the running back? I just don't get. I'm not a Barkley fan. I just don't see how you could not put him on the list.
Okay, it's funny you say this because all the Zeke talk right now, I may be changing my mind on this. So the thing about Saquon and Zeke, like I think pretty easily you can. I don't think it's a discussion that between Zeke, Christian McCaffrey, and Saquon, those are your top 3 running backs in the league right now. I could be wrong if you want to have a conversation, but I'm not wrong. I think they're different styles, though. I think a guy like Saquon, like he's a little more. Is nimble the right way to describe him? Yeah, maybe it is. Like he finds those gaps. He's just a different style of running back. He's going to be a little faster than Zeke, but that's not saying that Zeke's not amazing. Zeke's incredible. He's a bulldozer, and he gets those yards. I mean, all of this controversy around, what he's bringing to the table. I did a little research, and so let me just go ahead and maybe refute myself really quickly. Since 2016, Ezekiel Elliott, when it comes to rushing yards per game, he's leading the pack, 96.5, right? You've got Le'Veon Bell and Saquon. Saquon and Le'Veon both have 79.7. Bradley Chubb, 77.8. So again, styles aside, he's still incredibly productive. All this talk of like one offensive coach in the NFL named him the 11th best running back. I'm like, what? Like, who do you have before him? Like, are you serious? Like, I'm confused. What 11 guys are above him? Like, I'm sure they have got like Derrick Henry. Are you going to put Jalen Hurts?
I wouldn't even put Derrick Henry.
Like, what are we doing, guys? It's
yeah.
So, I could very easily switch sides and go Zeke on that. I think that it was just, I think we went solely based on the style at the time. But I don't know. I might be changing my stripes in that regard.
You can't go wrong with either. I will say that Barkley's had a really horrible team around him. Yeah. So he would, I think he would do very well with the kind of talent we have on our team if he had that around him as well. But so I could see, why that'd be a good, pretty much a toss up there. They're both very talented running backs.
Who did you have a question about? I forgot to ask.
I actually loved the entire list exactly how it is pretty much, except for I think I might swap out HaHa Clinton Dix and go with the young gun, the potential of Xavier McKinney that was just drafted. Okay. I would consider that. But he's kind of the same kind of guy as Landon Collins in a way. So I don't know exactly how that would work on the field, but it's a great list.
We also had at right tackle, you could have like a Lyle Collins could be a part of the mix. Yeah. That's a conversation that's super easy to have. If Trent Williams hadn't left the division, again, he and Tyron, they might be a little bit in different places of their career, but like that would have been a fun little conversation to have a Trent Williams, Tyron. So like, who do you put at that tackle position? That's a fun one to have. Mm-hmm. Do you do Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan? Like that was another fun conversation. Again, are you picking upside or are you picking proven? Mm-hmm. I think it really depends on your philosophy on how you want to pick your teams.
Right.
It's definitely a fun conversation.
I have another one, and I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I didn't get this one. How do you leave Scary Terry McLaurin off the list and keep CeeDee Lamb?
Give me CeeDee Lamb. I'm not with you.
I have McLaurin on the list, but did we pick Gallup? Oh yeah, we did because we bullied Ari out of that.
You picked Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper.
Yeah,
we Gallup stayed. I mean, how do you pick Lamb over McLaurin?
I mean, we're going upside, man. Like
best wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah, like we're picking upside. Like we picked Chase Young over Ryan Kerrigan too. We were team upside in this draft.
Okay.
So I get it. I do. But like if you it might have been a bit Homer. I'll own that. Like pick my 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. I'm like, top wide receiver core in the league. 3,000-yard guys, like let's go. Like we don't need any other team to add to our wide receiver core. Right. We're good. We don't need you. We're fine. But yeah, McLaurin, like Scary Terry, he would be a great add. I'll let him be a backup. But if you don't got a star on your helmet, you're going to be a little less priority to me.
Yep.
I may be mad at that.
And you kind of actually brought up what I was going to say next, but as far as Zeke and the whole the anonymous coach or whoever it was saying that he wasn't in the top 10, sure. And Zeke coming out and saying whoever that is faded. I was curious, I guess, if you could even put together 10 names in front of Zeke. I can't do it.
I can barely get maybe.
I can't even.
Maybe.
And the 4th one will be a stretch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, are they they're like Frank Gore?
Yeah. Like, I mean.
Again, like, I also love to know, like, the criteria. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of these things, you can tell the media is bored because
they're trying to come with stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, everyone's like, let's go ahead and pull together a list of, what our top this is or top situational that is. And when it's situational, it's just that. It's situational. So it's a matter of, are you picking based on current right now? Are you picking based on career? Are you picking based on, upside? Like if you go with a guy, like let's just say for the sake of your argument, like a Frank Gore, you're going to go picking based on career, because you're not going to compare to Ezekiel Elliott right now. But if you sit there and say that Frank Gore isn't one of the all-time greats, then you don't watch the sport. So
Yeah.
I think it's so subjective. I think it's a lot of, you're going to have to put your thinking cap on and determine, like, is this a little clickbaity? Like, are we doing this for the sake of like a good Twitter argument? Is this, them just trying to get us past the paywall, which is great. Y'all should be subscribing to media sources and paying for, the valuable news they deliver. But when there's nothing going on, we have to throw some fun, crazy situational things out there. And number 11 on the list, like, is he even an active NFL offensive coach? Like, are you like, Surely not.
He's a hater.
That's garbage. Like, that's trash. That's
It
so
is.
trash.
Throw it away.
Zeke quote his comment about when people were talking about why he could be 11th. I actually got to pull it up right here, where he just says there's a lot of great backs, and all the talent, and then he gives me the Birdman quote with put some respect on my name, and then he follows it up with the Yo Gotti reference with women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie, basically.
I love him.
Zeke's cool.
He's right. I think the first quote is paramount. There's a lot of great backs in this league, and so you don't have to talk down on him to be able to lift someone else up. And you don't have to think that you can have the argument about McCaffrey, Saquon, and Zeke all day, but again, 11 is a stretch. And the numbers, like I just said earlier, his since 2006 or 2016, 96.5 yards per game. That doesn't suck. He's leading the pack. 1,800 scrimmage yards and 14 touchdowns after coming out of no training camp.
Yeah, exactly. And then think about what he does blocking as well. He's probably the best pass blocking running back in the league, possibly.
Right.
So
it makes sense. And so that's a great point you bring up too, because we talk about how Saquon's different than Zeke, but Zeke's a better blocker than, and so I think that it depends on what you value. What's your game that you're playing? Are you like, what is your game that you're playing, and what player can you plug into that scheme that fits the needs that you're looking for? So, man, y'all are making me eat my own words. I do regret that pick a little bit. I didn't talk down on him though, so I wasn't one of those people I wasn't like, Zeke's amazing. He's incredible. He's one of the best that has or ever will do it. So I think you can't go wrong with either of those picks. But yeah, you definitely don't need to be putting him at 11. That's just that was probably Freddie Kitchens. Like, Freddie Kitchens is probably like, he's terrible. Like, Freddie Kitchens doesn't know Jack. Like, be done.
So we have a good buddy watching, and you'll be familiar with him because you and Meg were on his show out you in the UK Cowboys. Mike Pollan tuned in and asked how's your cats doing? How's Kelsey's cats?
So if you guys see this box behind me, I am a sucker. I have left, and this was when I was on Mike's show, it was still there. I have had this box in my living room all quarantine because my cats like to sleep in it, and so therefore I leave it there. It's like, no wonder I'm single. Like, they're great. They're on the patio right now, so that's why the door's open. I'm sure you'll get a cameo here shortly. I would imagine at least one of them.
We had Jeff Kavanaugh on about a month ago, and we tried to get him to bring CD on, and he was busy playing as well. So we have bad luck with pets.
Oh yeah, CD. Actually, Jeff came on our show a couple of months ago, and CD was wilding out like so hard. He was just like losing his mind. It was really funny. I had to edit like half the show down because CD was just barking so much. It was very funny, but like you couldn't hear us.
So I guess we got lucky that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of pet cats, we're about to enter training camp in a couple of weeks, and everybody has kind of their guy that they're rooting for to make the team. That's kind of like the underdog or the pet cat. Do you have a pet cat going into training camp right now?
if I can consider it an underdog though. He's a draft pick.
Okay. Who you got?
I'm really interested in the development of Trayvon Diggs. I think that he's really an interesting player. I'm excited about him, you guys. Like, I think
too.
For many reasons. I think that he's intelligent. I think that he, as a player, he's played both sides of the ball.
Right.
So he gets it. He looks at it when he's defending from an offensive mentality. And I love that. I freaking nerd out on that so hard.
Right.
Like, I'm like, this is it. This is great. Like, he understands what the person he's playing is going through. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I think he just brings a lot to the table. And not to mention, we have a lot to figure out back there in the secondary. So that's something that definitely is going to be fun to watch play out. You're going to have some good battles in training camp. I think you're going to see some position flex potentially too. You've got the Reggie Robinsons of the world who could potentially come in and play, you know, do we want to move him to safety or what do we want to do with him? So that's definitely an area that I'm paying a lot of attention to come training camp. I'd also say if I'm looking at areas of opportunity and storylines for camp, what about this offensive line? It's weird to me to say that I have uncertainty with it. I'm not necessarily concerned, but I don't feel as concrete as I used to about what they've got going, who's going to be playing what. I mean, we don't even know who's playing. So why not look at it like, is it possible? Like, is Tyler Biadasz going to step up and take that starting role? Can he do that year one? Based on the history and what that program brings to the table, I think that's a very honest possibility. I think Joe Looney is serviceable too. And I mean that in the most respectful way. But with a 1-year deal, he's not your answer for forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I didn't necessarily name Pet Cat, I guess, if you will, but guys that I'm super pumped to watch. Diggs, man. Like,
I'm right there.
Everybody has their own definition of Pet Cats.
I had no idea he would make it to 51. Like, I would not have. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of just blown away about it. I really thought if they would have took him at 17, I wouldn't have honestly been surprised. If Flam wasn't there and they took him at 17, it wouldn't have surprised me. So when he got to 51, I literally ran out of my house and ran down the street and went on Facebook Live. I put on my mullet wig and I went on Facebook Live and I was like, Trayvon Diggs, man. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Incredible. I need to see that. Is it only on Facebook or do you do it on Twitter too?
I usually post on YouTube and Facebook only for the videos, but I'll tag you. I'll post a clip of something up and tag you on there on Twitter.
I don't get on Facebook that often. I'm very bad with Facebook. I'm very ADD. So to manage like multiple social media mediums, I'm like, plus like my Facebook is like my atrocious old like senior photos. I genuinely haven't used Facebook in like a decade. So it's more like it's like I get the notification that you're having a birthday is like why I have it now.
All right, Kelsey, I know we're kind of holding you a little bit over more than what we said.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, we have one more question for you. And of course, we don't like to talk about it a lot, but we can't let you go without talking about it. Dak watch is over as of yesterday, and he's going to officially play under the tag.
Yep.
How do you think we should look at that in terms of 2021? You think we still have a good chance of getting him to sign a contract, or is it pretty much over with at this point?
So I'll give you guys a preview. I had Jane Slater on Girls Talking Boys, and it's airing on Friday. So I had a conversation with her last night. Yeah. So I'll give you the scoop before it goes live. But I think that I was pretty puzzled. I made a joke, but I mean it. The meme and the GIF, whatever it is, where it's like the woman with the confused face, and she's like, and all like the X's and O's and the triangles are like all around her head. Like that was me trying to, I'm like, literally like, these are my notes and like my math. And I was trying to like figure out like, okay, so if we franchise tag him this year and then next year, and then I'm confused because it feels like it made sense for the Cowboys to just lock him down.
Exactly.
But basically honestly, from Jane's perspective, she had some conversations with people within the Star and actually Dak himself, and the Cowboys felt like with the deal they came to the table with, which ended up being 33 to 35 a year, and was respectable. The money is about Russell Wilson money, approximately, with guarantees around the Jared Goff range. So you're thinking like 110 or so. It's a rolling guarantee. So that's 85 to 90 up front with a 50 signing bonus. They felt like that was an honest, respectable offer. And in light of Dak's talent, I think that they realize what they have in him. And we've heard them talk about it a lot, that he's their franchise quarterback and they want him there. But they ultimately didn't make it happen. And I think Todd France with CAA, Dak's agent on the other end, was looking for less than a 5-year deal. The Cowboys, I think, wanted a 5-year deal is what we're kind of, let's kind of typical.
A 6-year deal.
Yeah, they do. They want at least 5. It seems to be their magic number. I don't know if I think that's part superstition. It might be because the team is really superstitious.
They are. Don't wear blue jerseys.
Yeah, seriously though. Actually, it's funny. Side note, real quick. Like Jerry really doesn't like red, and I always would hear stories when I would work for the team that like he actually would like tell people like sometimes like he was like, I don't want you wearing a red tie. Like, don't wear the power tie. Like, I don't want red. Like that was like a story. Like I'm not sure how true it was or not, but I always would hear that when I worked for the team. And like if you go to the stadium, the fire lanes aren't red; they're blue. So who knows how much truth it is to it?
Yeah,
anyways,
I can see it.
I digress. But so Todd France wanted the 4-year deal, shorter term deal, more friendly for his client. I think he was hoping to maybe line it up with the 2022 TV renegotiations, even less if they wanted to do like 3 or 4 years. And they weren't able to make it happen. I think we heard these ballpark of maybe like 38-40 is kind of more the numbers that they were hoping for. But if you do the math, which is the part that, again, I was mentioning was kind of confusing to me. So what I think is going to happen is the Cowboys have to tag Dak this year. Obviously, they've already done that. $31.4 million, right?
Right.
2021, they'll have to tag him again, most likely, because they need to be able to negotiate with him. So they can't have a conversation with him until after the season. So let's go ahead and just for the sake of an argument, they tag him in 2021, right? So that's $37.7 million. Let's go further hypothetical. I'm not as confident that this will happen. Let's say, but they could. They could.
Third tag.
If they do a third tag, you guys saw those reports. 54.2. That's $123 million over 3 years. What does that average? 41.
Right.
And you want to know the number that we all laughed at when all this began, myself included? I made a joke. I made a joke because I'm here for a good Twitter joke. 40.
40, right.
And it's an actual honest possibility that he could do it.
Yep.
Do I think it's going to happen? A third tag? No. I think they'll figure out a deal after the second tag. I do. But I think that Dak's sitting pretty because now after this 2021 tag, which I think will happen, that gets you up to the TV year, which mad money coming in, percentage of the calorie cap. I need to eat. Calorie cap increases. Get more money to play with. So that means more money for the players. He's just going to have a monster deal. And so while Todd France, there's a narrative going around where he's got 3 guys right now that are playing on the tag, and it was his job to negotiate deals with them. I think Dak's in a pretty okay spot. I did hear from Jane too, though, that Dak actually, there was a report, and she wasn't fully able to confirm it yet, that someone from the Cowboys reached out to Dak and was advising him to reach out to Steven and Jerry. And she's not sure that part is true, but she is certain that Dak did try to make something work last minute, and it just wasn't able to come to fruition. So he wants to be here, guys. Like he wants to be here.
Great guys.
He signed his tag early. I think that all signs point to something working out. I don't know why the Cowboys didn't make it happen. And I think it was businessman versus businessman with Todd France and then Stephen Jones and Jerry. And they were like, no, like stalemate. And ultimately
It's Todd France, man. That's great. He's making it tough on everybody.
Well, if anyone can afford to pay to pay the big bucks, I guess you'd have to say the Cowboys can do that because I mean salary. You have to think about the salary cap, of course, obviously, but it's an interesting place to be, and so I think they'll figure something out. I think you're going to see another year of this. I think they'll figure something out after they tag him next year because they have to make sure he can't go somewhere else. We don't want a Drew Brees situation on our hands, if you will, and he goes and becomes someone else's franchise quarterback. Yeah. But, at the end of the day, Dak's motivated. I think he plays well with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
I think
he does.
You saw his brother tweet out and I would be a little offended too. I would. But I don't think it stopped him in the past. So I think he's motivated. I don't think we overpaid for anyone. Maybe there's some money we can play with in free agency. I think there's some good silver linings to this. Would I prefer we have locked in our quarterback? Do I think he deserves it? Yeah. But
good news is he's going to get paid because this is a great time to keep betting on yourself. You just added CeeDee Lamb to what you already had. I don't know. I don't see. He's not going to have a down year, in my opinion. I just don't see it happening. The money's only going up, and he's definitely going to get paid big very soon in the next few years. So
I saw one of my friends on Twitter, and I couldn't have put it better. He goes, "We just all need to pull an Elsa right now and let it go." And
right.
That's a good quote.
Completely off topic, but it's a random, really quick question. You had posted whose fries are better, but I didn't see you put your answer on whose fries are the best.
Oh,
and I'm curious, what was your answer to the whose fries are better?
Y'all, I just need to say, apparently that's another part of my brand now is the controversial food takes or like hypotheticals. Like the movie thing was one that, people were having fun with. I posted this one about Chex Mix the other day. And the world lost its mind. I think it was like one of my most viral tweets, which is hysterical. like I am now to some people, the random girl on Twitter who you like, it's like reply with like your pet's name and what actually inspired it. Like just photos only. Like I'm like one of those like internet people now. Let's see. Okay. If I had to pick my favorite fry, I'm so sorry if you, oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, y'all.
Computer's blowing up.
I may be new, I may be young, but like I'm a boomer when it comes to technology. Like
I am too. That's what Marcus handles. He takes care of everything for me.
Yes, like I just got a new computer too, so I'm trying to like figure out how to like not have my messages show up on my computers. But here we are. If I had to pick my favorite fry though, out of the ones mentioned, oh man, okay. So McDonald's fries are like awesome. I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I fucking love Chick-fil-A's waffle fries. Dip them in barbecue sauce, like
Chick-fil-A sauce for me. Chick-fil-A sauce. Oh,
I actually never had Chick-fil-A sauce.
I didn't until this year, and it's changed everything for me. It's so good.
You're a believer now.
But Five Guys is my favorite on this list. Cajun fries from Five Guys. I gotta roll with it.
Those are pretty good. I like Arby's curly fries too. I know, like I don't know. I feel like people don't love Arby's. Like I love Arby's. Like Arby's is great.
Beef and cheddar.
Yeah.
Heck yeah! Like their horsey sauce, like for life. Give me the jumbo. I'm gonna get that for dinner tonight. Maybe.
I told them to add extra sauce. There's two types of sauce I think on it. There's like a ranchy sauce or some type of sauce like that. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Red Ranch or something. I told them to add extra, and it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's my promise to you. I will find more hypothetical food takes and we'll just have like polls on Twitter until sports come back because it's the least I can do to the Twitterverse.
And we'll be there for all of them. For sure.
Deal.
All right. So I know we kind of held you a little bit more than we anticipated, and we appreciate you staying on with us and answering our questions. Hopefully we can have you back again when the season starts so we can talk some
of course. I'm happy to come back. This was fun. Glad you guys had me on. You know where to find me. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think camp starts supposedly in 12 days. I'm sure that's a topic of conversation. You'll probably talk to Dave about that next week when you have him on the show. Oh my goodness. but I can't. I even close my messages. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I hope it works out. I think that we're seeing a lot of examples with like the NBA bubble and how they're doing things. MLS is back tournament. NHL, they're heading into phase 3 and 4 of the return to play. So, fingers crossed that we can figure out, and as a whole sports community, what works and what doesn't work. It sounds like I saw JJ Watt's tweet today. It sounds like the NFL is a little behind the 8 ball. Maybe they just have this grand plan that they haven't shared with us. Right. And by us, I mean the players too and the NFLPA. But I'm looking forward to having some like real life action to talk about, and it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And in the meantime, everyone wear your masks so we can make sure we have football, because like I will cry if you don't. It's like, wear the mask. Do it for all of us.
Right, exactly. All right, so guys, if you want to follow Kelsey, we have our social media in the corner. It's Kelsey_Charles on Twitter and Kales_Chaz with 2 Z's and 2 2's on IG. Make sure that you listen to, is it this Friday, tomorrow? The next episode?
Yes, Girls Talking Boys.
All right, and tomorrow's featuring Jane Slater?
Tomorrow's featuring Jane Slater. It's actually 1Z on Instagram, and then you can also find me on Frontrunner too. I've got a short newsletter that comes out and podcasts every week on Mondays. If you want to keep up to date with DFW sports, it's free, it's fun. You can hear my voice again if you want, and I'm kind of a little bit of everything. Why not?
Oh, before you go, I forgot to tell you, you did a great job last week covering for RJ.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh.
There you go. The cat sighting.
Hey, buddy. What's his name?
This is Tucker.
What's up, Tucker?
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was a good time. I told him, I was like, I don't think I'm going to give you the mic back, my friend. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, people that don't do this, it is hard to go on by yourself and talk for 30 minutes. And you did a great job of that.
It was great until I made some like random comment because I was exhausted about how I was like, Ohio State and Michigan aren't playing. I'm like, they're both in the Big 12. Like, get some coffee. Try again.
All right.
Thanks, and this was fun. I enjoyed it. And yes, we'll definitely do it again during the season. Come hang out with me on Twitter, wherever else. And always down for a good little banter. Why not?
All right.
Sounds awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. It was a blast talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
And again, make sure you guys donate to Ear DFW. It's a great cause, and they're going to do a lot of great things with the money that you give them.
Yes. Yes, please. That'd be great. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelsey. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.